Good morning, Westminster. It's good to talk with you here at the end of the week. I wanted to share with you a few updates for our congregation. First of all, Westminster has decided to follow the advice of our medical professionals as well as the advice of our governor and president and continue to hold our live online services through the end of April. Hopefully by that point we'll have good information and hopefully we can be back together shortly after that. Since this is a lot longer than we had initially anticipated, we are looking at several ways that we can have fellowship and ministry of God's Word for you. And I want to mention two of those. First, we're going to offer one live online adult Sunday school class starting this Sunday. Pastors Kiefer, York, and Light are going to walk us through Tim Keller's book, Walking with God Through Pain and Suffering. I'm really excited about this class, and I hope you can join us. It'll be during that Sunday school hour, 9:30 to 10:30 on Sunday mornings. And there'll actually be an opportunity for you to interact as well by texting questions to them in the class. You can get more instruction for that on Sunday. They'll give you the details on how to do that. Second, we're going to offer some opportunities for live prayer meetings over Zoom with some of our elders. We'll offer 3 of these this coming week and 3 the following week. We're going to try to keep them small, limited to about 6 people or couples so that they'll work logistically. But there's a link with this update, and you can go there to sign up to participate in one of these prayer meetings. The other thing that I just want to mention to all of you is that our pastors are available if you would like to talk with us, whether for pastoral counseling or just anything that's going on in your lives. I know that our regular routines are disrupted, but any of us pastors are more than willing to talk either by phone or video conference, and just call the church office if you would like to talk to any of the pastors in the coming weeks. Well, next, I want to share with you again just something that I've been thinking about in my own times of devotion in God's Word this week. I really don't have any agenda or pattern or schedule of what I want to share with you in these times, but I just want to each time share something that stood out to me that I've been thinking about as I read God's Word. I know that I've mentioned that I've been reading Philippians, and a verse that continues to stand out to me is chapter 1, verse 19, where Paul says, "Yes, and I will rejoice, for I know that through your prayers and the help of the Spirit of Jesus Christ, this will turn out for my deliverance." I was also reading in 2 Corinthians this week, and in chapter 1, verses 10 and 11, Paul says, "He, that is God, delivered us from such a deadly peril, and he will deliver us. On him we have set our hope that he will deliver us again. You also must help us by prayer, so that many will give thanks on our behalf for the blessing granted us through the prayers of many." What stood out to me in both of these passages is how strongly Paul says that he expects God's deliverance, but that he expects it will come about through the prayers of God's people. He says in both passages that we must pray. Prayer is a necessity, because prayer is the means by which God brings about the deliverance that Paul's looking for. I think this is such a strong level of confidence in prayer and necessity of prayer that maybe goes beyond the way we think about or talk about prayer. I know for me, I certainly love prayer. I treasure prayer. I treasure my time of communion with God through prayer, and I've seen God answer prayer again and again. But I think I fall short of talking about prayer with the confidence that Paul does, which he says that we must be praying because that's the means by which God works. And of course this makes sense. We say that God ministers to his people through his word, but his word is brought to us by pastors or preachers or friends who bring us God's word. We say that God provides for us financially, and yet that provision comes when God's people give and share and are the means by which God meets his people's needs. So it shouldn't surprise us that God answers prayer and God brings provision and protection through the prayers of his people. While I was reading this, it also struck me that the Pew Research Organization came out with a survey just 3 days ago, noting that in a time of corona crisis, many people are praying who don't normally pray. 15% of people who say they never pray are praying now during this crisis. And 24% of people who identify as nones, the people who say they have no identification with religion, are praying during a time of crisis. And as Christians, we might say, well, we are creatures made in the image of our Creator, and so it shouldn't surprise us that we would have an instinct, a natural instinct, to pray in a time of crisis. But for many people, according to this survey, prayer is just therapeutic. It makes them feel better or comforts them. And while we know that prayer is a source of comfort and peace when we come before our God, As Christians, we can come to prayer with greater confidence, greater boldness, and greater expectation because God in His Word has promised that He works through prayer. Well, as we come to the close of this week, I would just encourage us as God's people to be praying for one another. Pray for one another in our congregation. Pray for our world and our country and its leaders. Pray that the gospel would continue to go forth. And pray with confidence and expectation that God works through His people's prayers. I hope you have a good rest of your week, and I look forward to being with you on Sunday morning.